Hello everyone, it's Cindy here again with Monarch Mom DIY. Thanks so much for joining me today on my channel, where I love to bring you the best tips and tools for creating beautiful home decor on a budget. Today I am back with 4 more projects, Dollar Tree DIYs that I'm making for my craft show. For this first project, we are making some faux book stacks using some 2x6 wood, some chalk paint, some ribbon and florals, and these stencils from a maker's studio. So to make my book stacks, I had a 2-inch thick by 6-inch wide piece of wood cut into 7-inch pieces. I'm giving them each a coat of this Kilz Chalk Paint in white, and I'm using this stencil, Your Story, Write Well, Edit Often. So what you do with these Maker Studio stencils is they are slightly adhesive. They are a triple mesh stencil, and for this medium on wood, I'm using chalk art, so it uses a very small amount. With this little spreader, you just press it into the stencil and then scrape away the excess, and when you peel it up, you see a nice crisp image. So if I had 4 books, I would have done that Your Story also, but I thought this would be great to just use these 3 lines to make my book stack. So Your Story, Write Well, and then the bottom one will be Edit Often. Now I did seal those words in with a matte finish. Once those are completely dry, I am going to go ahead and glue my fake books together just so they don't all slide apart when I put the ribbon on. So just starting on the bottom, some hot glue, and then to put the top one on. Now I'm using some of this burlap ribbon from Dollar Tree, and it is wire edge, so I'm kind of forming it around my book stack, and I'm going to hot glue it in place. I will do 1 strip there to the left of the words, and then you'll see in a moment I will do another stripe of the ribbon going around the long ways of our book stack. For today, we'll also be using a Maker Studio stencil, an embroidery hoop, 3 of the 5-gallon paint stir sticks, some florals, some paint, and ribbon. So what I did with 1 package of 3 5-gallon paint sticks is I did cut them on a saw so that the handle part was gone and just gave me 3 nice long pieces. Here you can see on the back, I'm hot gluing some pieces of craft stick to hold those together to make like a little palette sign. And I'm going to give this 1 coat of my black chalk paint called Ink, Once that's dry, I'm taking a different stencil from a Maker Studio, but the same idea as the book stack. I'm going to stick that down where I want, and this time I'm using some white chalk art. Now I've made a couple of these wreaths using embroidery hoops. I find these all the time at thrift stores. If you don't find them, you can always use a hula hoop from Dollar Tree. Here I'm using these 3 different colors of lavender and just cutting the individual stems off. And then now I am centering my hoop and drawing lines where I need to put glue, and then gluing the hoop to the front of my little wood sign here. Once that's dry, I can start adding my florals. Again, I'm just using little bits of hot glue. This does take a little bit of time because you want to hold each floral piece until the glue is dry. I just think this lavender from Dollar Tree right now is so pretty. Once I have all the florals down that I'm going to use, I'm taking some of this black and white gingham ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to make a fold over bow. You can see I folded 2 layers. The back one is a little bit longer, and I'm just going to tie this in the center with a piece of jute twine and then fluff out the parts of my bow. I also took one long piece of the ribbon and folded it in half and then dovetailed it there. I'm going to glue that first to the embroidery hoop, and then I will glue my bow on top of that. And once I had my bow in place, I did decide to add just a few more little pieces of the lavender kind of tucked underneath the back of the bow there, just to finish off this whole beautiful wreath. And here's the finished look of this one. I'd love to know what you guys think. This is different from the one I made before, where I just did greenery on the left-hand side. For today's third project, I'm using 29 Jenga blocks, a pair of the foam dice, some of these month stickers, and either some sticker numbers or painting them on. But here I've got 2 sets of 4 and 2 sets of 6, and I'm going to use my wood glue from Dollar Tree to glue these sets together. These are going to be used to build my box for this perpetual calendar. Now, taking the 2 foam dice, I am going to paint these with my mineral chalk paint. It does take about 3 coats just to make sure you don't see the dots anymore from the dice, but they do dry pretty quickly, so 3 coats didn't take too long. I'm also going to use that mineral chalk paint to paint 6 of my Jenga blocks. These are going to be used for the months on my calendar. Now that my sets of 4 and sets of 6 are dry, I am going to build this rectangle, and like I said, this is going to be the box that's going to hold our calendar. Now coming back to the 6 blocks we painted gray, I'm using these month stickers that actually came in a Happy Planner sticker book, but I know you can get sheets like this at Hobby Lobby. And so what I'm going to do is each block is going to have 2 months on it. So there you can see they are 2-sided. And then coming back to my dice, I did some gray. This set I also painted black. For these am using my Cricut Joy, I did cut out some numbers, but in the past I have stenciled numbers on. You could also use number stickers from Dollar Tree. So on one of the cubes, you're going to do 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on the other cube, you're going to do, well, here we go, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the other cube is 0, 1, 2, 7, 8, and 9, which can also be 6. That is how you need to make your cubes, so you can make all the dates 1 to 31. Now, here's my box all dry. I am taping off just these 2 blocks on the top so I can paint over the word Jenga, just so it's not so visible. I'm also going to do that to my last 3 blocks. I'm just painting over the one top side that says Jenga, and you'll see where I will put these blocks in just a minute to finish out the frame of our calendar box. While that black paint is drying, I'm coming back to my month blocks, and I am putting a light layer of our matte finish Mod Podge over the stickers just to make sure they don't peel off. Now I'm showing you where I'm going to glue those last 3 blocks. This one is going to go across the back there in the middle, and you'll see this top is going to hold our month blocks. Then I'm going to do one here, and then one also on the right, just a little bit of space between the side blocks and the one in the back. And to finish off our box here, I'm going to take the black and white checked ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to go all the way around the bottom of the box and then also around the top edge of the box as well. This project is completely customizable. This one is obviously very neutral, but you could personalize these, make them any color you wanted, as well as the dice and the month blocks. Just make it fit your color scheme. So here it's showing you how you put the blocks in the bottom there, and then at the top you just have the current month facing out at the front, and you can see how the rest of the month blocks just fit up there on the top as well. My last project for today is super easy, but I think it's really cute. I found some of these house-shaped frames at Dollar Tree. I have some of these wreath rub-ons and some Scrabble letters, and I'm also using some of this wood-looking scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. These are scraps that I had in my stash. I'm just taking the backing out from the frame and tracing it on the back of my scrapbook paper. And then once I have that traced and cut out, I'm just going to fit that back into the frame and put the backing back on. Everything else we do, we will be doing to the front of the glass. Now, I was able to find some of these greenery rub-on transfers at Dollar Tree, but if you can't find them, you could easily use some of the Hobby Lobby papery leaf garland to make a little wreath, and that would work just as well. Here you can see I took the Scrabble letters to spell family, and just using that Jenga block at the bottom to make a nice space there and also keep our words straight, I'm just going to use E6000 glue to glue those to the front of the glass. Then taking the rub-on transfer off the backing and sticking it down where I want it on the little house frame. You're going to just take a popsicle stick and just rub it down until it easily comes off of the backing there. And for that last little farmhouse touch, I'm again taking my black and white gingham ribbon from Hobby Lobby and tying a small little bow that I will then glue to the front of my little greenery wreath. And here's how all 3 of them turned out that I made with the gray and the brown wood paper. I think these were so cute and simple. Well, thanks so much for joining me again. I hope you'll let me know in the comments which of these was your favorite. Please give this video a thumbs up. It helps me to grow my channel. And if you are new to my channel, I hope you'll consider sticking around by hitting that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for all of your support, and I love to read all of your wonderful comments. Thanks so much. Bye.